All right, so
And then could I read the time?
this is the Drupal Core Cross Initiatives meeting for August 30th, 2018. NG?
Oh, I was wondering if I could reserve some time at the end of this meeting to talk about 8.7 and 8.8 roadmap stuff with.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Cool.
So what we do usually on these meetings is we go around and look at what we achieved and if there's help still needed. Um, I wanted to start with, I guess, two global things. So I am working on the front page announcement for 8.6, and I will share it with probably all the people in the meeting invite usually, so that we get some feedback on whether everything is technically accurate or if I missed certain things. And that would be posted next Wednesday, so it's in 6 days. Um, is so I, Thanks for the input. And the other one that I am looking at is if you have interest in having some meetings with core committers and or other stakeholders in Darmstadt. Even if you're not personally there, we can get you in video conference. Because we usually have some of these meetings, like 5 to 8 meetings at DrupalCon, and this time would be similar. To talk about stuff where if you're blocked, if there's need for pulling in other stakeholders that you don't normally have available on your meetings in your team, etc., and make good progress in person fast, that kind of stuff. So if there's anything on that front, I would be happy to note that down and try to organize. So the second one is a question. The first one was kind of an announcement. So I guess we can walk around and see what are you up to, recent successes, and if there's anything we can help with. Let's start with Adam. He joined first.
Okay, well, I'm here representing media, and I'll start with the successes, namely all of them. We had a bunch of 8.6 goals. Every ask that was put in front of us, we kicked. So OEmbed support, it's in. Media library, it's in. Media library with upload, it's in. Everything we wanted, we got. There was a critical issue that we sort of revealed, and it got fixed. So 8.6 is a huge release for us, and we're just super, super pumped about that. On the roadmap for 8.7, really, there is one major thing for Media Library to have it be feature complete, I think, in accordance with the original mockups, and that's allowing OEmbed support or to create media using embed codes from the Media Library. So now that we have OEmbed support in the media module, this should not be that much of a stretch. We think we can also just get it done in one issue, so no need for like a meta or something. The bigger dragon is CK editor support. So I thought about that, and I came up with a meta issue. We had an existing patch that I just turned that one into a meta issue to keep the scope very clear. There's really 4 stages to that, and I think that we can achieve at least 3 of them. My feeling is that the first 3 out of 4 issues there should count as MVP, and I also think that we should probably just add this to the media module. The under the hood parts of this should just go right into the media module. And the media library integration should go into media library. So I don't foresee a need to like add new modules or any kind of crazy shit like that. But yeah, so that's all really good news for us, and I can send those issues around if you guys would like them. And yeah, that's where we're at. We're in a really good place. Any questions?
That sounds fine to me.
All right, well.
So it sounds like you don't time it in Germany because you have kicked all your asses. Sorry.
I'm not even going to be at Darmstadt. I'm going to be in Japan on vacation. But yeah, I don't need to talk to committers. Screw those guys. I work with them all the time anyway, so it's all good. yeah, I mean, maybe at some point I may want to run some stuff past you or Gabor since you're product managers, but I feel like there's general agreement about what needs to happen for media stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure I need really committer approval on any of this stuff.
Okay, great.
All right. So the next step would be Lucas.
Hey, this is Lucas. We have done quite well in 8.6 for migrate. We still have several things that haven't been touched for several weeks in the RTBC queue. Some of them as long as a month and 3 days and 1 week ago. So that'd be nice to get some more traction as at least 3 of them are for multilingual and 1 of them is for the web UI. They all kind of somewhat block additional work. But in general, for 8.6, we met a fair number of our goals. We didn't get some of the Drush work that we wanted done, and that was mainly because Mosh, I think, didn't feel like there was enough motivation and consensus to pull that into Drush core at the time for being able to run a migration. But besides that, we got a lot of our other goals done. Migrate Drupal UI are all now considered stable as of 8.6.0.
Yay!
Yay, indeed. OS Training came out with a little blog post about and said, "Oh, plus migrate's mostly stable," and there's some questions in the Q&A at the footer about what do you mean about multilingual? Doesn't everyone use multilingual? And so we were able to explain a little bit about the fact that, and really only about 20% of the 6 and 7 sites were using multilingual capabilities. So we're actually doing a pretty good service here by sort of taking away that artificial ceiling, the glass ceiling, for the 80% of folks that were not using any multilingual capabilities in Drupal 6 and 7 for upgrading. No, I guess the only help is commits. We've got 7 things in the queue, and some of them have been there for a while.
It's worth mentioning at this point that we have a migrate maintainer call later today. So if there's any committers who would like to be on that call, they're all cordially invited.
As always.
Yes, as always.
Yeah, that's a tough time for Europe. I can make that call, but I can't today because I'm at a conference. But I will float that to the core committer channel. Are there 2? You said, Lucas, I think I heard you say there are 2 issues in particular that you've been waiting on that are blocking other work. Could we call those out specifically? Like, do you have links to the issues?
There's 3 multilingual that have been almost a month in our TBC. And I know we've been in sort of a feature freeze. I'll paste them in here. And moving back to the US from Central America leads to lots of colds for the family. So I apologize if my sniffles are... The germs up north here are worse are different at least than the ones down south.
Something. Okay. So I will float those to the core committer channel. You said there's also a UI issue that's blocking other. I thought I heard you say the word blocking somewhere in there. I remember hearing like these have been.
Yes, I will send all of them. There's the UI one.
Okay, cool. All right. And then that call happens at, I think it's 2 p.m. Pacific time, correct?
Sounds right. It's 5 Eastern, 4 o'clock Central.
Yeah, 4 Central. Okay. I will see what I can do about getting committers on that call and/or on your issues. So, thanks.
Yeah, I think that's mostly the stuff I've been frozen recently for commits, and we've been focusing on getting 8.6 out.
The other thing, and Gabor's been trying to find this, maybe already has, is there was an interest in doing some multilingual sprinting in Drupal Europe, but considering that none of us are going to be there from the committer, from the maintainers, that hasn't materialized. So if anyone has friends or knows of anyone, that would be nice to organize some work in that regards. There will be some contributors remotely sprinting, but not on site.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mauricio, who was planning to do a migrate workshop at Drupal Europe, a 2-hour migrate workshop, he also canceled due to personal emergencies. So it's not going to be, even him not going to be there. So I was trying to recruit him to lead a sprint, but
He would have done a good job.
yeah. So yeah. So it will be heavily underrepresented, even though multilingual is the is the biggest remaining task list, and Drupal Europe would be perfect place to look at that. It's unfortunate, but we'll try to see if somebody organically appears and try to promote that as a potential topic, and if somebody's there who we don't know yet. So we have new people leading the way. All right. I think Ted was next in arrival. If unless
okay, yeah. I just showed up because I didn't know if anybody else from the layout was going to come by. I guess for 8.6, the big stuff that we got done outward facing is that it should layout builders now opt in, so it's a lot less destructive to turn it on because we won't take over your displays until you, on a per bundle basis, decide you want to use layout builder. So it makes it a lot easier to turn on without risking your current setup, because we won't touch it until you configure it to. And then we got the inline creation of non-reusable blocks. So this is the idea of having your regular block types, and you can create new ones in the layout builder, which will be not reusable in the sense that they won't show up in your block library, and they'll be access protected according to whatever entity you're adding them to. So if it's in a access protected node, you won't be able to see that in other places if you don't have access to the node itself. And then a lot of other bug fixes got done for in the 8.6 cycle. But I had kind of had my head down on the inline blocks issue, so I'm not really familiar with tons of the other issues that happened there. I guess that is it. Trying to organize I'll be there in Drupal Europe sprinting, so if anybody's interested, feel free to get in touch with me. I put a line on the spreadsheet for Drupal Europe that you can get to from the contribution page. So yeah, I would love if people want to get involved in Drupal Europe and otherwise. I guess that's it.
all right. Any topics that we would need to organize
For Drupal Europe?
Mm-hmm.
I'll check with Tim about that as far as like meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I'll ask Tim if he wants me
Yeah.
to.
If we need to pull in, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
API maintainers, or I don't know who would.
Yeah, probably. Actually, probably what would be good, one thing for sure, would be content moderation and layout builder. Try to figure out how that should work together.
Mm-hmm.
That would be huge. I don't know if we need a specific meeting or just make sure we meet up with people if they're going to be there. Because it's unclear, I think, right now how it should work.
Okay, I noted it down. Cool. All right. And then I think Christina was next. Hi.
Hi there. Okay, so quick date from the UX team on the admin UI. We had a survey and we posted a blog post with the survey results. Next week, we are going to launch a card sorting test with a blog post explaining it. And we are planning to test the wireframes for the new admin UI during Drupal Europe to start getting feedback from it and start doing the first changes. And we're also planning to have a test comparing Drupal with other competitors like WordPress with Gutenberg and other Ghost or other admin, modern admin interfaces. And on the other side, about the design, we are wrapping up the design system and we are working on the wireframes, as I just said. And that's all so far. Any questions or?
Is there a way we can help unblock you at Drupal Europe or right now before Drupal Europe?
I think the main block or blogger is the new 7 development because there's no one actually taking the lead on that, and we will really need someone if we really want to have the new 7 happening, because we really need that. We really need to find someone to lead it, because the people actually working on the design system is mainly people that will be interested in doing that, but they are working on the design itself. So no more hands right now.
Yeah, I've seen the video demo of the new React stuff, and it makes it apparent that if you click on something that's not available there, it goes back to 7. And if it would use the same design system, that would be much more consistent than like dropping out to an entirely different universe.
Yeah.
So can we help promote that? Do we set up a time at Drupal Europe where designers will be available to onboard people or consult, or how can we do that? Because there may be people who have the front-end skills, but they don't know there's a need.
Exactly. And the main problem also here is that it's happening on GitHub. It's not on Drupal core, so they don't have karma for doing so. That's also important.
Oh, yes, for some people that's important. I don't know I don't know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's the other thing. And I don't know. I guess we can start promoting it once I guess I don't know how to handle it right now, because
so what about setting up a buff that's like implementers needed for a new admin theme or something, and then you can schedule it at a time when the designers are available, and we can promote the hell out of it and tweet it and like send it out to people and whatever, and then hopefully a couple of people at least will show up and sign up to help.
It makes sense.
So can you try to coordinate that with the designers involved to have a time and then lock in a buff?
Yeah,
that would be easy to promote, because then you have like a room and a place and a time. And if we have it now, then we can promote that it's easy to find.
Okay. I'm gonna write it.
It doesn't seem like that you would need like core committers or others to be involved in there yet, because it's not there. But you are more interested in involving new people who you don't know about yet.
Yeah. Probably. I don't know. I'm not sure which kind of people should be involved here because I guess 7 took a lot of time to get done, at least at the point it's right now. So I guess for the easy part, it will be easy, but once we go to deeper waters, it will be harder and we will need more experienced people. So I don't know, I guess we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think having a publicizable time and place and location that we can tell people who may be interested would be nice.
Okay.
Like help implement this design for Drupal core and delight, I don't know, millions of people on the globe, something. So we can make a nice marketing effort out of that, and then
Okay.
you get people there.
Okay. Well, then I will create the boss and I will prepare everything for them.
Yeah, let me know at the time we can help it promote from the initiatives, and we can make Dries retweet it, and we can post it from Drupal Europe and like every source possible.
Okay.
You should get a few people as a result of this. Great.
Cool.
I'm glad. All right. Anything else?
Not for me.
Okay. Matt.
Hello.
Hello.
I guess just like one thing, I'll paste a link here in the chat. A small issue was discovered in the States API, States JavaScript API, that breaks if you use a certain kind of condition. This actually was the issue was introduced like over 8 months ago, so it's taken this long for someone to encounter it. But there's a fix which just reverts the change to the States API. So I don't know if what kind of priority this is. But that's it from Drupal core side. Everything else is on the admin UI.
Yeah, I've been quiet because I'm looking at this, like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's not it's not great, but the fix is easy. It's just to revert the change until we have time to figure out what the better way to do it is. I had talked to Lowry already about it. He seemed okay with just reverting the change and then creating a follow-up to actually fix the problem instead of this solution. So that's that.
All right. Yeah, I think that would be a non-regression that we would be releasing with. Just quite unfortunate. And affects web form and stuff.
Yeah, this was committed to 8.5. So
8.5?
Yeah, it got introduced. The problem was introduced here. I pasted the second link. This was like 8 months ago. So
interesting. But it says if they go back to 8.5, then issues resolved. Yeah. Right. I will relay this to the commuter channel as well.
Yeah, let me know. I mean, the patch on 6 is good. It's fine by me, so this doesn't need any. I don't have any opinion on it any further. That's it.
Looks like it's worth pinging Lowry on this because it's all front end code. Oh, not all front end code. Oh, there's just a test. Yeah, so it's all front end code.
Yeah, I mean, it's the state's JavaScript API.
Yeah, I pinged it to Larry in committer Slack. Cool. So I don't think we have anyone else. So I guess NG, you up? You're up.
Cool. So I'll share my screen for this. Sharing my screen and my drive. Here we go. Drupal 8.7 and 8.8 roadmap draft thingy. Document deal. Is that what you see? Let me look. Yes, that is what you see. Good. Okay, so Dree's note is happening in like 2 weeks. I would like table to be on the core roadmap page by then, which is currently a cacophony of bullshit. I think I can say that. It's accurate. It's like we got halfway through updating it for 8.6 and everything is all very messed up and happening here. So I'm going to replace it with just a table. It's like, this is what we're working on, done. And then see how we go with that. Because this is much easier to update every time. That's what's happening. So what I would like to do for everybody who's on this call is to add a little X or watch of these that say, yep, that looks like what we're doing. So I'm going to skip admin UI and JavaScript for now because I know that. We've got stabilize the media library. We've got various UI improvements that Mark side. We have something called add external media form content form issue. And we have
I can put that issue in there. Do I have edit access to this, Angie? Because I can definitely point to some
everybody
proper
should
issues
have.
now.
Why did I not place a link to it? That would have made way more sense. Here you go. Everybody should have. Yep. So what order should these go in? Like, is stabilizing the media library the top priority? Or you're trying to get WYSIWYG support in, like, do you have an opinion on that at all?
Which order those media issues should go in?
Yeah.
I mean, I would put, I mean, these are all pretty vague. I'd have to look at them more closely. I think that WYSIWYG support should actually be at the top of the list, followed by external media from content form, because those two things make us essentially feature complete. And in my opinion, not vetted by the other maintainers, but in my personal opinion, that makes us ready to start actually talking about how to get people off of file and image fields and migrating people over to media. So once we have something better to offer, and it's feature complete, then we can be like, okay, now we can get you over here. So I would put those two at the top of the list. Stabilized media library, I got to look at that. I think that's probably just, fix our stable blockers, of which there are some. And yeah, UI improve, all that kind of stuff. I got to look more closely at it, but yeah. Where I'm concerned, I'm always like,
but yeah, and then yeah. But in general, this matches with your view of the world, which is like, we got to get WYSIWYG support extra, then we're feature complete. Then we need to stabilize what's there. And then this was raised by Marcos. It was like, we need UI improvements to even allow for deprecating for file image so that in the next release, 8.8, we could ideally basically use media by default, which involves, we need a migration support and upgrade path, and I don't know what web path media means, but
yeah, I have no idea what the fuck that's talking about. But yeah, that matches my view of the world.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Close. Something. Anyway, something. Okay, great. Thank you. So you need to look at that a bit more and put an X there or something. Okay, great. For migrate, I think we already talked about this, and this looks good from your guys' focus.
Yeah.
So CSV file support. Then some UI improvements for the migrate UI. Yeah, I feel like the last call, so this I'm going to put an X there. Does that sound good?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, great. We don't have out of the box. We don't have workflow. We did a layout, though. Yeah, layout. Oh, this came right from Tim. Ted, do you know of
Yeah.
any other changes to this plan?
No, I'm assuming it came from Tim. Then he's the initiative on the. He's the lead of the. Him and Emily are the leads. So.
Okay, great. And that came from the documentation team, so that should be fine. That came from the configuration. Fine. Winged centaurs riding into battle wielding lightning swords, shouting the battle for control. I definitely didn't write that, so I'm going to say that that one's done. This changed dramatically over the weekend. All kinds of stuff, so I got to get with that team. Admin UI. So the JavaScript team, what I know is that they have been focused on demo prepped, which they which oh, that is the wrong link. Sorry. Oh, there it goes. They've been singularly focused, not singularly focused, but like very focused on 6, so we can show React actually working with JSON API and all kinds of other good awesomeness. I've seen that video and it is but that the next 6 to 12 months of this initiative is kind of TBD, and there's going to be a lot of discussion at Drupal Europe kind of that up. It's kind of the things we don't have things yet to put here. Is that right, Matt? Would you say that's true? Or is there anything we like guess at? Like we're going to need to put open API or that thing with an S, I think it has, into core to support it, or is there anything? Is there any like foundational groundwork we need in core that we could work on in 8.7?
Probably Schemata and Open API.
For JavaScript.
That's
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said Schemata and Open API modules.
Schemata.
Both need help. So.
Yeah. Is that when I talked to the API first team, they think that between JSON API and full config entity support, that's all they can do. They can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much longer we're going to keep dragging out JSON API as a stable module into core, but like at some point it has to happen.
Yeah, true. That hopefully is relatively short.
Like if that's going to take another full release cycle, then we are still also on the.
Hopefully that won't take a full release cycle. That's a good point. But full config entity support will definitely take at least a full release cycle, and they seem to think that that is more impactful to you guys than these things, which is why they're not prioritizing them.
Yeah, I actually don't know how. I mean, I don't know when the last time you talked to them was, and it's sad that, I mean, no one's here from that, but we had expressed interest in having revisions support available. So,
okay.
That would be honestly the.
This up to 8.7 JST. Yeah, my understanding is that is quote unquote a can of fucking worms. No, I'm just kidding. That's my quote, but yeah. And that they want to get into core first before they worry about extending it with other thingies, which does make some sense to me. But it does mean that if these two things are needed for you guys, then it needs to be someone who's not Wim and Gabe and Ted working on it. Yeah. Or we say, full config entity support is not about writing vocabularies.
Yeah, I mean, we can get around some of this too. Taking some shortcuts on our side. So
around full config entity support or schemata?
Around schemata and OP, those don't have to be in core. We are already using them just as dependencies.
Okay.
Just the same with JSON API. We're not. We just require the module. We don't care whether or not it's in core or not.
Okay. So I question mark, I guess, because it sounds like you need those things, but you're not planning to work on them, and you workarounds. So,
yeah, I mean, I am definitely not planning on working on them, but me personally,
I was thinking like Daniel or one of the other core developers, if they were going to take that on. But it's hard to speak for people who aren't here. Right, so other than those two foundational groundwork things, anything else in the REST API or core JavaScript things that should be called out here as a 8.7 goal, like something to ship by March 2019, which means it'd be like feature freeze is probably going to be January.
There's this one issue that I just started working on again yesterday. This is support for polyfills in core. So we can use features that are not supported in old browsers, mainly IE and people can be happier, I guess.
Sounds good. Are we adding JS or are we not in Tears and Fire?
I'm sorry, I could not hear you. You sounded like a robot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I tried JS messages. Should we add that back to the list or let it hang out?
I don't even. There's a minor bit of feedback from the accessibility team, which should be addressed. Hey, Adam, are you still here? Adam H.
I am here.
Hi, I saw your patch that you re-rolled on JS messages.
Yeah, sorry it broke the tests.
Okay, hey, if you want to make the change to the patch and fix the tests, we could, I could review it and it could be good.
Okay, I'll try to do that. I would like to see that one land for sure.
Great.
So yeah, I'll do what I can on that.
Okay, perfect. There we go. JS messages, problem solved.
And then is that a blocker or an enabler for the React admin UI, or is it 1,400-year-old issue and we'd like to get it fixed kind of thing?
It is a very old issue that would be fixed. It doesn't have any effect on the JS admin UI. JS admin UI already has its own entire system for handling messages.
I think there's at least 100 people following that.
Yeah, when it's like, I don't know, 11 years old or something.
You just said JS messages and I perked up, even though I've got you guys on mute. This is one that I've been following for a while.
It's 12 years and 3 weeks old. So.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to add it. That'd be great to get done. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then the API first team basically felt like these two things are the only thing that we can commit to, if that. And then basically for 8.8, they didn't really want anything in 8.8. They just kind of wanted it TBD based on, once we get what we've got stable, then we can shift gears and look things. Because they kind of feel like these two, kind of like the media team. It's like these two issues get us to feature complete, and then we can look at what else we've got to look at, But it's good to know that revision support is important to you guys. They put schema alternative to putting schemata in core, so we didn't need to put two dependencies that are both like not at the moment. And I don't know enough about this to know if that's equivalent or not. But anyway, that was their thinking in the 8.8 goals, is that that we build, but on top of a JSON API framework instead of having to do the work twice, once in REST and once in JSON API. So.
Oh yeah, nothing should be added to core REST at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So then I've tentatively put the single page React app for administrating Drupal. It's just to put something in 8.8, so it's like, hey, progress, whatever. And then these will obviously get defined at Drupal. That's fine. Are you comfortable with that, Matt?
Sure, as long as it's ability to be changed, then that's fine.
Yeah. You know, like what's great about roadmaps is everybody understands that this is like a roadmap is like what you think you're going to get done, and then shit happens. And the plan is to check in with teams on a roughly, like, you know, say every 2 months basis or something, and then make sure these are staying up to date or things. We can do it faster than that. It's just a fucking wiki page on Drupal.org, so it's easy to edit it if it's not working out. So. Cool. Yeah. What should I be putting for the admin UI parts of this? Do you know?
No. The only thing I can think of, I mean, we're finished nodes basically, but I think that non-node things like taxonomy and stuff is probably upcoming next. That feels like the closest thing. Probably some level of like field level validation, like constraint system. We don't have, I mean, we have like a very bare minimum there. It would be nice to have the ability to not have to make 4 or 5 requests to render one form. So there's probably some work to happen there around reducing the places the information can be.
Cool. That all sounds like good stuff.
Yeah.
How about from your end? Oh, sorry.
No, that's it.
What were you going to say, Matt?
Nothing. No, I'm done.
Oh. Okay. All right. How about you, Christina? Do you have items to add to 8.7 or 8.8 here? Christina.
Sorry, it just cropped, and I wasn't sure it was for me.
Oh no.
I guess the refresh admin theme, it will be great, but I'm afraid it's a long shot right now because we don't have people. It's on the first line, I think.
Oh, it is. Sorry. Oops.
And
yeah,
apart
so you
from
think
that,
maybe, yeah,
that's a new 7.
Okay.
And also, I guess we can start implementing the custom CSS on the development that is right now happening with React and so on. So we don't have to rely on material design or something like that anymore.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. The design system. Yeah.
And React admin UI. Say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing.
I think I'm going to move this to an 8.8 goal. Bring that. But what could happen is we finalize the design system in 8.7. That feels like that is doable by January. Well, actually, if it's just final all the way. Does that sound appropriate?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I guess we could have, I don't know, something as an alpha or something like that, but I don't know how themes are handled on core if they're not finished?
Yeah, it's a good question. So in order, we can commit something experimental to core in really any state. So even if it's literally just 7.2 is the name of the, the theme, and it's a .info file that's called 7.2, we could commit that conceivably. What we cannot do is we cannot ship in a tagged release, meaning 8.7.0. Actually even alpha 1. We can't ship in a tagged release anything that's not at least beta level stability. And beta level stability means, and Gabor or anyone feel free to correct me if I get this wrong, but beta level stability means that the APIs are complete, that the data model is complete, and there are no known security issues. And so for a theme that is pretty, I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be more of a judgment call on whether it's beta or alpha at that point, because like you're not going to change anyone's. Oh, maybe that's not true. I think we'd have to figure out like what all the templates are and what they're called, and what the CSS classes are and what they're called and stuff like that. Because if you started changing that stuff willy-nilly on people, you would have problems. However, I will say that since we're redesigning 7, like the 7 theme, the 7 theme is explicitly not an API. Like we mark that as this is our admin theme and we want to be able to fuck with it. And so it's at internal, don't extend it. So if we did the same thing with this theme, then potentially we could ship it, it would be more than a product management / design team call on whether or not this is good enough to ship in a tag release. Because I think we get a free pass on that, because we're definitely not going to change any database stuff. We shouldn't be introducing any security issues because we're just going to use Twigs like thing, and more or less it's going to be a lot of CSS changes and stuff off an existing theme we already know works. So yeah, so I think getting the ball rolling in 8.7 is very easy to do. Maybe you and Gabor could sit down in Drupal Europe and, try and hammer out like some milestones or something and say, we want to ship this in front of people.
Okay, we definitely need Lowry for that.
And Lowry, yes. Lowry. How about develop plan or implementation plan for 7 redesign?
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
That all seems like good stuff to do in 8.7, and then for 8.8, we're going to try and get the refresh 7 admin theme stable. Yeah. Can I put that? Because I feel like we can get it started in 8.7, but we may or may not be able to ship with anything. But then by 8.8, we don't, because that's like another year. Yeah. So
makes sense.
Okay, great. I feel a lot better about this one than I did in the past, so that's great. I appreciate that. And then in the meantime, I saw Fabian joined. I know we're at time. Fabian, did you have anything that you wanted to add to the CMI initiative?
No, not really. I just wanted to know if there's something that I should know.
We were
didn't have a
kind of
meeting,
bragging about our wins and raising any blockers we have, and then we were also revisiting the 8.7, 8.8 roadmap. I did this. I didn't write this, so I think that this is okay. But if it's not okay, by all means, edit it away.
And then we said that we'll reach out with the front page post draft to initiative leads, because then you can verify if you're writing the right things. And we also said that if you have requests for meetings that need core committers or other stakeholders that are not normally accessible on your meetings in Darmstadt, then we would be able to organize that there. If you raise them now, and then we can set up the stakeholder list and try to figure out when and how.
Actually, that would be great. We agreed with the people that were there last week that we will have some sort of BOF or something to discuss what kind of things we want to do and how. But Alex Pott was not there, and he's kind of the key figure in all of this because he has several hats. And so I don't know if like it's best if I just say, yeah, sure, we want to, or if like I get in touch with him and then.
I think a buff would be great. You should find the time that Alex can also make it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the biggest.
Lock in your buff sooner than later, so other people can organize their time around that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll organize with Alex then.
I think it's great because it's open to everyone. It's public. Like Alex is already a core committer, so you have representation.
Exactly.
But if you need other core committers, you can call them in, or we can reach out to if you need Reese or myself or somebody. We can look if we can have people there.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. Great. More.
Already 2 weeks, huh?
It's almost less than it's a little bit more than 10 days until the
yeah. And in 2 weeks almost over. Huh?
Yeah, it's 10 days and 10 hours or something. It's not too much now. Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, the main part of the conference will be over in 2 weeks. Yeah. Cool. I also need to go. That means I need to use close to hang out. So thanks everyone for coming. Keep up the great work and see some of you in Darmstadt.
Yeah. See you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks everybody.
Goodbye.